This movie tells a story of Helm Hammerhand, the King of Rohan, who has to defend his kingdom against the sudden attack of Wulf, a ruthless Dunlending lord who is seeking vengeance for the death of his father. The war takes the kingdom of Rohan to the ancient stronghold of the Hornburg to fight for survival against Wulf and his formidable forces. King Helm is still swinging that mighty hammerhand of his, but he can't defeat the invaders alone, which leaves Hera to become the main protagonist. This prequel set 183 years before the original live-action trilogy of the early 2000s. Whereas those previous films were dominated by their male leads, this animation tells the story of a brave princess who must rise up to save her imperiled kingdom. This movie is an uninspired expansion of the most iconic screen take on Tolkien. It's a paper-thin prequel that stretches a single page of Tolkien's appendices into a 134-minute story of how the Fortress of Helm's Deep got its name. The idea is not bad, but the execution leaves much to be desired. The end result is lackluster. It's a dull, tiresome, and cheap-looking anime. The narrative is really thin, the assembled voice cast gives it their all, but none of the characters pop in a memorable way. The movie's central figures are not as magnetic as before, like even some of the supporting Rohirrim players from the live-action series. It's obvious that Hera is conceived an Eowyn image from the original trilogy. King Helm is a stern patriarch, who bars Hera from the fight, only for her to disobey his orders, which is the same strife shared between Eowyn and her uncle Theoden. Hera is a strong protagonist, however, she suffers from a lack of depth. To make it worse, her story is also uninteresting, and she isn't the most compelling character in her own story. King Helm's journey draws more interest, particularly regarding the toll of war and its casualties. Wulf was Hera's closest friend and sparring partner when they were children. This detail is interesting and would prove relevant to the story at some point. Unfortunately, the movie is not interested to explore this connection for drama or pathos. Wulf is an uninteresting antagonist as he's a completely one-note character. There are several different scenes in the movie where his right-hand man advises him to make a rational decision of some kind, only for Wulf to immediately opt for the rash and violent route instead. It's illogical the first time, and really stupid every instance thereafter. The movie fails to combine Tolkien's Middle-earth fantasy world with anime style, which only magnifies this movie's glaring inability to find any soul of its own. Most of the action here is far too stilted to engage with as well. The hand-drawn animation style has its limitations, the characters' faces are not especially expressive and their motions are jerkier than the norm. The humans often moving with a distractingly mechanical stiffness. King Helm moves with all of the fluidity of a chess piece. He also looks like a cardboard cutout every time he shuffles back and forth in a medium shot meant to suggest that he's walking. The character's stiff facial animation can't remotely keep pace with the emotions they're expressing at a given moment. In dialogue scenes, the bland character design detracts from the drama. The spectacle potential for Tolkien filtered through an anime lens feels wasted. Overall, it's not worth to watch this in theaters, just wait on your streaming service.